seasons. It's like 13 episodes, not 22.
I'm going to solve it over the summer. Sorry, guys, I'm eating a donut.
That's fine.
Okay.
And we're live.
Okay.
We're
We're live again. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty. I'll put both of these parts together and make it one video when I'm done. When we're done with this. So explain to me what you guys
the
were.
longest holo hangout ever.
I know. Well, I just want to go just a little longer. I just wanted to find out what were you guys talking about when I was trying to get back in, and what were you guys saying about Abby? You were saying
mostly about how people of color get killed off all the time. It was basically what we were talking about.
or the relationships end tragically if they're involved with a Caucasian, or in a relationship with a Caucasian person, whether they're male or female.
I can just realize, if you think about it, also works for the Joe-Jenny relationship. They killed the white guy instead.
Well, yeah. There you go.
There you go.
See, interracial relationships. That's why you cannot get Ikabi, or however you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Joe and Jenny were the train wreck of that show to me. I immediately resented them because they called it organic, which it was not. I mean, and then, okay, did you guys think that it was weird when Abby said he was our brother? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so they were fostered with Sheriff Corbin, so they were around when he was a kid. That's why she said that.
Abby used to babysit him.
But it just goes to show that you can't even trust dialogue with these writers, because I get it, but it didn't need to be said like that, you know?
Yeah, she could have said he was a brother to me.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah, but that's not what she said. He was like our brother. I was like, oh, God, that's weird.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I don't know. The situation that you have in The Flash with Joe, who fostered Barry and has Iris, or Joe West.
I will say this about that show: the characters have never called themselves brothers and sisters. The characters have always referred to each other as best friends. They have never called each other. They are clear that they do not see each other as brother and sister. The characters, Barry sees Iris as his best friend. She sees him as her best friend. They do not see each other as brother and sister. Both the actor and the actress that play them have even said that they don't see each other that way.
Yeah, well, they were friends even before. That's probably helped too. They were best friends even before his mom died. So it was their relationship as best friends was already established even before that. Yeah.
The relationship with Barry and Joe was not. They established that relationship, so that's why that's different for them. So not the same thing.
Very good point. They've drawn that line. And then one thing is, Candace, the girl who plays Iris, she will let you know in any interview too. She comes for you in interviews. She is not here for it. She will let you know this is not how it goes down.
Yeah, and she calls out the racists too. She talks about how much racist crap she has to put up with, and she's like, you know what? I deal with it, but it's there. You know.
Wow.
Where I think people like Nicole and some of the other actresses are very introverted, very quiet about these things. There's no way that if an iconic character like Barry Allen, if his love interest is getting it, there's no way an iconic character like, especially Ichabod Crane, a man from the 1700s, there's no way Abby wasn't getting it.
I don't know. I just.
We got it on Twitter. They were tweeting us. One of them tweeted, literally one of the standards, it was herself, tweeted that someone like Ichabod would never be attracted to someone like Abby. He'd see her as lesser. That was a tweet that one of them tweeted out, and they tweeted out all kinds of...
Who tweeted it? Wait.
It's a girl on Twitter, and she still hates Abby. He was just recently tweeting at Raven last week or 2 weeks ago, more Abby hate.
Oh my God! What's wrong with people?
They have not gone anywhere, and she just hates Abby.
I don't understand that.
I'm gonna repeat what I said while you were gone.
Okay, yeah.
Back when ER was on, and we got Alex Kingston coming in, she started having a relationship with Dr. Benton, who was African American.
Right.
The network got flooded with letters demanding that whatever stop, and that's why they broke them up and put her with Dr. Green instead.
Really? See, I didn't know about that.
So that is what you may be facing. This you don't understand. I didn't understand it either at the time, but that is what's happening, and maybe
this is the thing.
And
it's 2016.
It's still
it doesn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
But it does matter for some people, and it will always matter for some people. Just because of the way that they're raised, or just what have you. For some reason, they just have this hatred, and I don't understand it either. But it's there.
I don't get it. I don't understand how you can just. People are people. I mean, we're all just trying to get along and survive, and go through our lives. I don't understand why there has to be this horrible. I mean, especially if this woman is on Twitter trolling, and she's causing why do people do that?
Raven last year, this is one of the things that caused a big Twitter riot with Metzner last year, is that she had been doing this racist stuff, and a little group of 5 of them, and then she said I'll tweet it out to you. I don't want to really put that out on the Hangout, but just that she had been tweeting these really horrible things about Abby, and she's a very big Ikatrina and Katrina fan. And then she said something positive and mentioned Raven, and he favorited her tweet and called her a real fan. This was around the time that the Abby Mills deserves better, and Twitter just went off on him. They're like, this woman is racist, and he didn't unfavorite. He didn't do anything. He just didn't care.
I was there for that. To be fair, he not only tweeted some people were real fans. Fans were attacking him, and then he started attacking fans, and it went into a complete nightmare. And he didn't even write that episode, whatever that we were talking about.
He sure didn't.
I remember.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
He showed complete immaturity in that situation.
Well, I mean, my thing is, if anybody is like really negative or really rude or whatever, I just don't respond. It's easier for me to just go. I'm not gonna engage in that kind of stuff. Anyway. Well,
yeah.
What else
happens? It's so sad. And had I not been on Twitter, I would have never known any of this. Had I not joined Tumblr and Twitter for Sleepy Hollow, Abby would have died, and I'd have been like, I don't know what happened. I'd have been sad and devastated, but I wouldn't know any of the things. She would have been another character to add on the list. I just would have not understood why her character developed the way that it did. When I ship someone, I don't ship a whole lot, but when I do, I don't care what color they are. Yeah. I don't care about any of that. I care about if it makes sense to the story. I care about the chemistry between the characters. Yep. So that's why when I see certain shows, I'm just like, I don't ship them, even if they're locking lips every day, because I don't see or feel anything that doesn't match the story. It doesn't matter. Right. So Ikatrina didn't matter. I was just like, oh, that's a dead relationship. Yeah. Right. They look pretty together. I guess that's it. I don't know. But nothing was there.
They looked pretty in season 1. In season 2, they gave Katrina a really bad wig, which made me think that even they hated her.
Well, and the corset.
They had to hate her.
What about the corset? Oh my God! Who walks around wearing a corset like that? I was like, what? And getting it out of the hospital. Somebody from the Lost and Found left their corset in the hospital.
Hey, corsets are making a comeback.
Sorry. Yeah. I laughed.
I tell you, I did not ship Ichabod in season 1, and it's not because I didn't see it. It was because because Ichabod was married to Katrina. Yeah. And so I just was like, oh, well, they're not going to have them together. And then the chemistry was just insane. I thought, am I looking at this correctly? Am I crazy? Yeah. Because they are the most shippable couple I've ever seen on TV. It was unreal. And so I thought, I must be out of my mind. I must be out of my mind because the dude's married, and she, I just are we supposed to be shipping them? Is what I thought. No. And then Sin Eater, I was like, oh my God, I'm trying so hard not to ship them. It looked like they went on a date. and then they held hands, and then they hugged. So I'm like, okay, I think
that was because that's when I fell right into that shit.
Yeah. Sin eater.
I still fought it after that. I was like, he's married, because after that they started really heavy with the Katrina story. Remember, and the baby. So I was like, okay, I don't know what that was, but I must have been seeing things. And then the finale happened, and I was like, forget it. I don't care if they just got Katrina out. I am shipping Ickaby, and I was gone after that.
That's how I was.
No return.
I had my brother watch it. He's 22. I made him watch the first couple episodes, and he's like, okay, whatever. So he watches the first one, and at the very end, when they look at each other, he says, wait, what the hell is that? And I said, yeah.
What the hell is that?
Episode 1. He said, wait, what the hell? Yeah. Welcome to my nightmare.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Alicia, you're back. Do you remember what you were saying before? Because I wanted to hear your comment.
You're hilarious.
I was just saying, Abby's life going full circle. That's what they were sort of referencing. Like, I think it was just all a dream. They were just showing her what her life could have been if she wasn't a witness or helping Ichabod move forward. So it was just kind of getting her to that point where she was at peace with herself and what she's done.
Do you mean
So just like the flashes, or her whole life this season 3?
Just see the season 3 thing.
Okay, I hope that they never mention that again, because I will legitimately want to burn everybody to the ground if that happens.
That's one of the ways that Jared and Jensen troll Supernatural fans. They say that they're gonna wake up at the end of the show, at the end of the run, and it's gonna be either all a dream, or they were playing video, or it was all a video game.
Yeah.
Jared said to me that in the end they want to go out in a blaze of glory and both of them die.
Yeah, that's what Jared
said. Well, they are sort of, and you know what?
They want them to die together.
Well, yeah, they have to. I mean, listen, they can't die separately. I mean, not after everything they've been through.
But I like this idea. I like about this idea of the dream that she has. I think it's going to be my new headcanon and my reason not to watch it anymore.
All of season 3 was a dream. I like that.
Well, the reason why I say it, the reason why I say that it was a dream is because, her line was like, well, my job was just to move you forward, so they just totally discounted what, she was there for, So she just, it's like what her life could have been if she wasn't a witness. So they had to get her to a point where she was at peace with what she's about to do. So that's
right. I like that scenario, actually. I mean, it's sad, though. The whole thing is just, I don't know.
Yeah. But it makes no sense how she dies. Like, she gets eaten by a box, but yet they
a box.
Come out of the box.
Because conveniently, the box needed hope, and it needed a witness's hope. I mean, Betsy Ross was right there. I mean, I said that on Twitter. I'm like, Betsy was right there. You did not need Abby.
It's just like, why does...
Betsy wasn't a witness. Betsy wasn't a witness.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you needed hope,
that's a Christian witness. It makes no sense. We need a Christian witness. What the hell?
You know what? If they just needed one, I think that her and Ichabod could have gone halvesies and just been a little bit sick for a little while afterwards.
Yeah, there you go. Just take a little bit from both.
Halvesies will split.
Yeah, there you go.
Why didn't Ichabod, why wasn't it him that wanted to go into the box?
Yeah, and Pandora's like, come on, Abby.
Weird, because he had already been dead.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason, I don't know why he didn't.
They're saying that they're saying he was the last of that Crane line. So had he died, there won't be another witness from his line. He's the last one. Because he didn't, I don't know. I guess he didn't have a lot of cousins or whatever. So it sounded like
what makes their line witnesses? It makes no sense. What makes them witnesses?
I don't know, but I think that's the throwaway. That's the throwaway.
What are they, Adam and Eve?
George Washington had it.
No, what George Washington said is that he is the last of the founding fathers. That's why he wanted Crane, because Crane is considered a founding father. So George Washington said he is the last founding father, and so he needs to be in charge of the secret war against the supernatural. That's what it was.
Yeah,
it's not that he's the last Crane. It's not. No, it was that he's the last founding father, and that's why they needed.
This is Supernatural's plot. This is exactly Supernatural's plot with the King of Letters and
the King. Yeah,
and they're the only supernatural line that can have this secret society.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. It's the same story. They're just ripping off of Supernatural.
Can I just say I love her cat?
Oh. Yeah, Stephanie decided, you probably saw the other one earlier.
Yeah.
That one is the Darkness. It's what we call him.
Oh.
So we're having a lot of fun with Supernatural and the Darkness this season.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever they say the Darkness, he looks, I'm like, not you. It's Harry. And this one here is Sam Winchester.
Adorable.
Please to notice he wears a bow tie.
That is so cute.
Yeah, he's trying to convince you that can we go to bed now? Could we? Can we?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and sit here then.
All right. Well, I'm thinking we better end this. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add before I end this officially? We've been talking.
Yeah, I wanted to say, because I was thinking, because they diminished Abby's position as the second witness, as an equal partner. I really wish that if she wanted to go, and they were gonna, if they felt like they needed to kill the character off, to let her go. I don't think that they should have diminished her as a witness. I think that they should have let her go, and then they could have left Ichabod and said that the witnesses are no more. We now have to do something different, and maybe have like prophets or something else. That Ichabod has to find these people and train them. So they could have kept Ichabod. He could have been still quirky and all of that, but not just anything to not have diminished Abby. I think every time I think about am I gonna watch next season, because right now I'm at a no. I'm not gonna watch next season, and it's because I don't see how I can get over that they destroyed my favorite character by making her something that's not very important anymore.
Yeah.
So I would love to watch for Tom, because I came in for Tom, Nicole, and Orlando. It was the three of them that drew me in. It was Tom and Nicole's chemistry that kept me going. And so now two of the three are gone. And as much as I'd love to stay for Tom, there's other sci-fi shows I can watch that I'm not going to feel this hurt every time I watch it. Watching television needs to be enjoyable, not painful. And there's no way to get to. They can't change that. Even if they had killed her off, I could accept that, because characters do want to leave. Actors do want to leave sometimes. They do kill off characters, but they diminished her in her death.
Yeah.
To less than. And
I think they did it in the worst way possible.
I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah, it makes you lose a little bit of trust in the writers. You just lose the faith. So even if
I don't trust them,
you can't trust them not to do something equally appalling and stupid.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I was gonna say, it's like Abby. Like, the only thing Abby really had was that symbol.
Was the what?
The only thing that Abby really had was the symbol.
Yeah, the symbol. I just
thing.
kept thinking, where is the symbol of Thura? I mean, like, I couldn't believe that brass that was, made before brass, whatever, was before the Bronze Age,
disintegrated.
I mean, the whole thing. Why did they even bother with that? I'm so upset about that. Like, they really had a cool concept there. They could have really launched something off, and been able to have them. They would have a supernatural artifact to actually aid them, and you know, they just kind of blew it up.
Yeah, it was the only thing that gave her hope, and you know, she probably saw it as a, you know, oh, I don't have to like off myself, but then, you know, when it went away, she had to like basically come off herself again to move Ichabod forward.
Oh gosh.
What I got from LDJ when I was talking to one of the writers, it seems like they weren't communicating with each other. Like,
really?
The story, yeah. Like, he was like, well, I didn't talk to the creative head. Like, so he didn't even know what was going on in the finale. So, like, the writers weren't communicating with each other at all.
No, they weren't. Someone, Trinald, did a radio interview. Someone was saying that when Abby wanted to go natural hair, there were the two of the white writers were just sitting there, and she's right there, and they're not. She's a woman of color with natural hair, and they didn't even ask her what they thought. You know, if she wanted to go with her natural hair, I think I can understand them not wanting to wear the wigs. Did they do this with Tom? Did they have this long discussion and just say no and then finally let him do it? No, he came back with his short hair. So the fact that Nicole didn't get to have her natural hair until the
midway through
season, you know,
they were giving her sort of what she wanted just so they could get her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, I just can't even believe they did this. I don't understand.
They were getting ready to get rid of her. That's what they were getting rid of. They were grooming her to get rid of her.
They really did
it in the worst possible way. Yeah, there were so many different ways to do this. If she wanted to leave, that wouldn't upset everyone. That wouldn't have completely destroyed the fandom and the show itself. There was just so many better options, and they went with the worst one.
I can tell that the writers didn't like her because they didn't give her a memorable death. Because they didn't let her go out in a blaze of glory. They let her go out by getting sucked into a bomb.
In a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, she evaporated.
So you can tell that they didn't really have that much strong feeling or liking.
Yeah.
And how do you kill off one of your leads without having a funeral? I don't get that.
They just made her. They sent her off as a prop for Ichabod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She wasn't in the final battle. She wasn't in the final thing. They wiped her clean in the first thing, and then had her do the ending thing. Tacked it on at the end.
And I will tell you, you can tell that they liked Katrina. Katrina went out with agency. She said, "Screw you, Ichabod. I'm going to do what I need to do." She was fighting the witnesses. She went out swinging.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Although the whole Katrina story arc, that could have been so. I wanted to like Katrina. I wanted to like her, and the way that they wrote her was just.
Well, I actually liked when she was evil. I mean, I'm telling you, I knew she would rock those.
She didn't have to be evil. That's what that's the whole point. She didn't have to be evil. She was like a way better character as an evil character, but she didn't have to be written that way. Like, she could have been just as essential to the witness, fighting the witness like Jenny if they just wrote her better. And they didn't. And then they had to get rid of her. And then it's just, and then the whole relationship with her and Ichabod just wasn't working either because the chemistry wasn't as well as with Abby. Mm-hmm. And maybe they felt pressured too with people wanting Abby and Ichabod together in some form or fashion. So I don't know.
But
maybe it's a combination.
The problem, Katrina wasn't, or Katya wasn't as strong an actress as Nicole. It was obvious. Right. But the problem was that Ichabod, or Tom and Nicole, have such off-the-charts chemistry, no one could measure it. I mean, no one could live up to it. It was just weird. I mean, even when you see them, when they're in a room, they're the magnet. They're magnetic. So it almost wasn't, you shouldn't have tried so much putting Katrina in our face. Because you just can't see it.
I think they had strong actors, but they had poor writers.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question that just came to mind.
Okay.
Could it be that these people don't know how to write female characters? Because
Absolutely.
Yes.
it takes a fine sense to write female characters. For instance, on Buffy, whenever we had Harmony, the dumb bimbo, okay, that was written by a guy. All her lines were written by David Fury, mostly. David Fury wrote a lot of episodes of Fringe, too. I trust Fury when it comes to female writers. These guys, they only seem to know how to write bitches or props. Have you noticed?
Yes. You're right, because look at what they did to Jenny when she got into a relationship with Joe. They made her just
made her a shrew.
They made her. She was so weak. I didn't even get it. It was.
And she was worse last year. This was better than last season when she was with Holly. When she was with Holly, she didn't know the names of things. She couldn't find anything, and she said something that was so ridiculous. I'm like, it sounds like something a 12-year-old girl would say when they were having the argument at the truck.
Oh my God, that was.
I was just like, she got a lobotomy when the guy came in the room. What happened?
I couldn't believe we were watching an episode where Joe brought her a truck and she was flipping out.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God.
You can see that that's what they think of girls. That's what they think of women. They think we give them the world and they just bitch about it. But you know, they have no clue. They have no clue.
The writers on Sleepy Hollow, I don't think were strong enough to carry Nicole's acting. They weren't strong enough to carry the characters themselves and their chemistry. So, not like the first season. The first season writers were really talented from when I saw it.
Well, no, this is the thing. They need to, really what they should do is they need to bring Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Orsi, and Len Weissman back. They were the ones that were in control of season 1. They had the clear picture. They knew what they were going to do. They knew how they were going to get there. They had everything was layered. They wrote the episodes themselves. I think Philip Iscoff did too. And I think that once they relinquished control, it went off the rails. And I mean, I really enjoyed season 3 up until the last half of the finale.
Yeah, I was enjoying it.
I did. I mean, I had so much fun, like, researching Greek and Sumerian and, all of these different mythologies and the lore I mean, it was fun. And it got you thinking and delving into, different cultures and different, religions and, I mean, I did so much research, I think, on this season than I ever did on season 1. I mean, and it was fun. It was fun to talk about it, and it was fun as it was unfolding. And then, they decided to anyway, I mean, on the whole, I mean, I liked it up until that, and now I just am empty.
Yeah, at the time we were having a good time, but we didn't realize what they knew what they had planned.
Yeah.
And remember the one thing that we kept saying, even though the episodes were getting better, they were having that season 1 feel. One of the things that we kept saying was why they keep separating Tom and Nicole.
Yeah.
Remember? We're like, it would be so much better if Tom and Nicole were together more because they bring that fun, that spark, that, that something.
The energy,
the energy.
This could be their plan to see what it's like without them together.
Yeah, that should have been a warning sign.
They're like, okay, it still works. People are missing the chemistry, but they'll get used to the chemistry being gone, and I guess that's what they were banking on. But no matter what episode they were doing, as soon as the parts where they put Ichabod and Abby together were always the favorites.
Oh my God! Well, can I talk about the coffee and donuts? Hello, that whole scene was my favorite. They were so comfortable together. They were like so. It was the most adorable thing ever, and it made me. When I think about last night's episode, that is what comes to my mind. Like, could they have robbed us of this? I mean, they knew it. they wrote that scene. They know what they have in the Tom and Nikki, and it was just stomped on. And I'm sure that I just wonder what they think, about.
Well, he told us. Remember, he told us at Comic-Con in London or wherever that it's going to go out on such a high. Was that a high?
That wasn't a high to me.
No, it was not.
No, it wasn't a high. And then they're like, when his citizenship was going to be taken. Well, he still doesn't have a citizenship.
Yeah, it was a battle as the high.
I think that making him a founding father with the Masons, I think that's what they're saying fixed it. So the FBI and the whole founding father thing, that fixed it. So it doesn't even need to be handled anymore. And I think that the high is because that was kind of it was intriguing. That ending was kind of intriguing with the FBI cars pulling up and so. But
it was intriguing. I mean, I will say
It didn't really intrigue me. I think, you know what? I think I blanked out once I saw that he was at her actual grave. I was like,
yeah,
this is it.
But when he was at the grave, he did say that he got the job as the archivist for the Historical Society or something, and that he was moving forward with the citizenship application. At the time, I just assumed that it was because he had gotten that job that helped with the application.
Yeah, that would help with.
And I thought maybe it was the Washington, the Walters thing that the FBI could help with all of it. I don't know.
But the job like what he got would also help for that citizenship. They would sponsor it.
Yeah, I assumed that was it.
To sell Abby's house.
If it was left to him in the will, I'm sure she had something. She was always in danger. She was always dying. So I'm sure she had a plan.
He said her house was up for sale. It didn't really imply that he was getting that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, considering how we don't know how much money he was really making. Let's be for real. Could he really afford her house? I'm just putting it out there. That's probably why it's for sale.
Yeah.
That house was huge. She couldn't even afford that house. That was shocking.
I love that house.
Here's the thing, they never talk about money, and they absolutely refuse to talk about money. When people die, most of the time you're left with life insurance policies. I'm sure that probably through Corbin or through her mother, that the girls had something. It maybe wasn't a lot, but I'm sure that neither one of them looked like they were broke. Yeah. Jenny always had a truck. Corbin was always providing things for them. They had the cabin to live in. So, I mean, of course, I'd love to have seen Ichabod with a real job, but I just didn't think that they were making money. Money didn't seem to be an issue. When she left the FBI, she was not in a hurry to get back. Right. After being gone for over a month, I'd be like, my bills need to get paid, but she was just not worried about it. So there was money in the bank.
Well, I think too, Joe had all that money too from so.
Who got Joe's money, Jenny?
Yeah, Joe's money did it. Yeah. It's just like, oh my God.
Joe was making it rain. I was like, dang, Joe.
I know. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, Joe bought the archives, so yeah.
You guys, this was fun, but I have to go.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna end this now.
I'm sorry if I spoke over everybody.
Yes.
No.
So,
I'll still be around. I'm not giving up on the show. I mean, I do like the show. I'm anxious to see what they're doing. I'm just heartbroken right now.
Well, I just want to say, I totally, definitely respect everybody who's going to still watch the show. For those of you who I follow on Twitter, I will still be on Twitter. You can tweet whatever you want. I don't care. I mean, I'm not blocking or muting people. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to respond to the Sleepy Hollow stuff. But, I mean, if you're doing other stuff, it's fine. I mean, I will still be here. And I do appreciate everything that everybody brought to the fandom. I do. I really do. I'll still be around.
Yeah,
I do too.
My thing is that my thing is that this show is so ingrained in me right now that I know I shouldn't keep watching because I just feel like it's just going to get worse and it's going to upset me more. But at the same time, I care about it so much that I don't know if I'll be able to keep myself from checking it out to see what happens. So I don't know.
That's my. I just can't not watch. I mean, I don't know. I'm just so invested in it. Like I said, I don't understand it. It's not. I mean, I'm not like this. I don't believe me. I'm not doing trivia thingies and.
I think a lot of you guys.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. But this show is just special to me.
You don't really have to explain why you're wanting to stay. A lot of you guys kind of love them both equally, and I always realized very early on that I didn't, and it is. I mean, I didn't love them both equally, which is how I can be out.
Yeah,
you can be fine.
I like the American. Well, I'm. The aspect that I like is the fact that it's rooted in American history, and the supernatural is in it, and there's like so many different aspects of it that I like, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be weird without Nikki, and I just can't even believe that this happened. I was not expecting this. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
I wish you guys luck and everything, but I'll be there.
Well, thanks. Well,
I know I'm not on social media other than for Sleepy Hollow, so I don't know what's going to happen. If I manage to keep watching, I really don't know if I can. I will probably try and see if I can. I'm just gonna have to feel it out when the season starts. A lot of it's gonna depend on who this new witness is. If they just totally just try to whitewash the character, I don't know if I can deal with that on top of everything else that they've already done. So that's gonna be a major factor. When you were saying if Orsi and Wiseman and all of them came back, if they came back and they managed to get Nicole Beharie back, because everything was great when it was with them.
Oh yeah.
Well, if they do that,
and there's another thing that even Abby said that it wasn't really goodbye. It was just until we see each other again.
Until we see each other again, yeah.
I think Nikki said in the interview that, or the EP said something, I can't remember exactly, but they said that she might be back eventually in some capacity.
Yeah,
and okay, those episodes I'll watch, but the other ones I don't know.
If they don't find the second witness right away and the episodes go on, and they just can't find her, and eventually they're able to work something out with Nicole Beharie and she comes back, and she's like a doppelganger, like a character that looks just like Abby, I'll probably come back.
Yeah,
or something like the Hawk Girl theory. Yeah, if they can get Nikki back.
If it's Nicole Beharie, yes. If it's someone else, I don't know. I don't know.
There's plenty of ways to resurrect her. I mean, come on, it's a supernatural show.
No, I think it's just a matter of them wanting her back and she wanting to be back.
Exactly.
But I think like what Yasha was saying earlier, if Nikki, like for some reason she wanted to leave, but then she was like, okay, I realize now that I'm a black actor, I can't get any other job. So maybe she would want to go back then. I don't know.
I would hope that I mean, she's so talented. I would think somebody else snatch her up in a minute.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do.
She's extremely talented, but she's a very unique character. Like when they do casting calls, if they do a casting call and they're looking for a white actress with blonde hair and blue eyes, any white actress can go in and dye their hair blonde and stick in blue contacts.
And
you can't see a 5-foot-tall African American, very petite woman walk into any casting call.
That is true. The biggest thing there is even for white women, that is a tough sell. That's a tough sell for just white women. So think about even more narrow for black women.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I will certainly follow her in her career because I mean that's just how it happens. But if she's back on Sleepy Hollow, then of course I'm back because that's what I do. I mean I'm here.
I think they really wanted her off because they could have worked something out and just kept both of their. They could have just kept it in a limbo cliffhanger and then kept both of them in renegotiation until they made her happy, and then worked around her schedule. But I think that they wanted her off to the point that they're renegotiating with Tom to make him happy, but they're not trying to renegotiate with her. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I think they wanted her off.
I don't know. I'm telling you. Well, Nat, and also, Natasha, you're one of the people that run the Nerd Element.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to give out your stats?
Yeah.
What's the Nerd Element?
I'm sorry.
Nerd Element.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, we run a website for geeky, nerdy things. We have several podcasts as well. TV Talk, we did discuss Sleepy Hollow. We've had Chrissy on several times already. In fact, we recently had her on for The Walking Dead finale talk. Oh my gosh, we had so many people on there. But I usually live tweet under _TV Talk Pod. You can definitely follow us at the Nerd Element. We cover a lot of conventions as well, so yeah, you can definitely check us out.
They've got a cool group going on, and I write for them. I'll post my article on the Nerd Element. So again.
Yeah, she's like our Sleepy Hollow,
I'm like the Sleepy Hollow
correspondent.
Yeah, the crazy addicted whatever nut. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So, do you have anything more that you wanted to say? I mean, or is everybody you think? What do you think?
I'll just say. Sorry.
I was going to say one last thing. There's a poll that's been going. I don't know who's one of the Zabbit polls, asking if does Sleepy Hollow deserve a season 4? We don't think so. What do you think? And they wrote a long article before that, and it's like 70% let it die. I think about 20% wants a season 4, and there's like 10% that doesn't care.
Wow.
Yeah, people are not happy.
Wow. Well, Alicia, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wish Nicole the best of luck in her future, and she always has us in her corner, like whatever she needs, like promo, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
We're always here for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. It's a good point to stop. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Sorry about the technical difficulties we had. I'll piece these together and get it back up probably tomorrow. So
that's fine.
Thanks everyone. Hollow Hangout signing off.
Oh.